the woke thing has gotten so bad that it's transferred over to think tanks in the right wing. And here's a guy, I think his name's Fitzpatrick, and he's got a whole new tool to combat woke. Are you ready?
How woke corporate America has become. The 1792 exchange setting the policies and practices of more than 1,000 companies, ranking the likelihood of the management taking action if employees have a different point of view. 50% of companies were rated low risk, meaning little chance of them prioritizing ideology, but 30% were found medium risk, and even more alarming, 12% were rated high risk. Joining us now.
So, just to help y'all out here, this is the woke-o-meter. How do they determine that these companies are high risk or low risk? We don't know. We'll never know. But they determined it. So let's see what he says.
As the president of the 1792 exchange, Paul Fitzpatrick, welcome. What a great service you're doing to America by ranking these.
What a great service.
Information is power. We can get to know what they're up to. Explain ESG, environmental and social governance, and how that impacts how these companies are acting.
Rachel, good morning. Thanks for having me on. ESG is a set of principles that are ill-defined, which is really the answer. Environmental, social, and governance principles that activists can use to fill and weaponize corporations. They can cancel customers, as we've heard and you talked about, can deny service. They can choke off funding based on these principles, and they're rating companies based on whatever the...
Okay, so essentially, let me get out of that. He's just making shit up. They've just made up a sub-metric that we're going to measure, and we're going to say these companies are woke. And it really comes...
For being woke.
Right, but when he's doing that, what they're really doing is they're saying this. These companies, because his 1792, whatever it is, group he works for, he also works for ALEC. Do you know who ALEC is? ALEC. ALEC writes, so they do these, one of their big things, they do these draft bills, right, for state legislatures, and then they send them to the conservative state legislatures there. And so these guys, all they have to do is fill in the name of the state and then sign it and submit the bill. So they do a lot of anti-abortion legislation, a lot of anti-trans legislation, a lot of pro-gun legislation. So basically when he said this, they're the woke thing, he's saying anybody who doesn't align with right-wing evangelical Christian principles, because that's what that group is. So the question is how many companies align with our principles versus don't align. That's all it is. So the woke-o-meter... I mean, it sounds like it's something that should be at a freaking state fair.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking about it from, the angle of somebody who would be out on the job market. I might enjoy a woke-o-meter to help me choose my employer because I might want somebody who's more at risk for being woke as opposed to less. Some other people might be looking for the opposite, but it might not be the world's worst thing for somebody shopping for a job.
But the problem is what do we mean by woke? Nobody ever really... On the right, they never really say what they mean by that.
It's just all the stuff they don't like.
It's just stuff we don't like. It could be anything. Woke could be anything. It could change tomorrow.
In my particular area of liberal camp, I really just think of it as like a synonym for enlightened. But people have definitely different ideas about what constitutes enlightened versus not, right? So even having a synonym for it doesn't really set particular criteria.
Yeah. It's like the word domo in Japanese. You can kind of apply it to just about anything. It's just sort of a kind of word.
I do like a good thinking word. Domo, huh?
Well, I mean, it's kind of just like saying, Hmm. It's really
Meh.
It has a lot of different meanings. You could also use it to emphasize things. It's like that's my point. Is it doesn't really mean anything. I think that the literal translation for domo is just in every way. So it can kind of be, you can apply it to anything, right? So, anyways, so that's the big thing on the right is they got the big woke battle, right?